we consider the history of abortion in the African American community, which was once known as the Negro community, and also abortion in the community of America, dating back at least to the days of slavery, when slaves were counted as chattel and less than human, and even women were chattel. And so in those days, women did not have the right to vote, and slaves did not have any rights as human beings. And so we know that when the slaves were living on the plantations, the masters had an eye for the female slaves, even if they were married to Caucasian women. And so the Caucasian women and the slave women had an uneasy alliance, pretty much like Hagar in the Bible with Sarah or Sarai. And so the slave master's wife, when the slave master preferred the slave and she became pregnant, the slave master's wife thought, we've got to come up with a solution. We don't like the idea of these babies being born and becoming more chattel, turning his attention from us to her. The slave woman said, I'd rather my baby die than be born into this life. And so women's live in a very warped way emerged during the time of slavery. And so there were chemicals and procedures and methods to cause abortion of babies dating all the way back to slavery in America. If we fast forward to that, after slavery ended, then the feminists who by then had won the vote, the suffragettes, but they had not submitted to God. And they said, we are going to be chattel no more. A man will not say we have to be barefoot and pregnant. A man will not say we'll be chained to babies. We will take control of our wombs. And so the Caucasian ladies and the slave ladies, in uneasy alliance, began another several decades of a woman has a right to choose what she does with her body. America doesn't know that. And so the emergence of a woman, Margaret Sanger, who founded an organization, the Birth Control League, that became Planned Parenthood, she decided that women could have babies when they wanted to, if they wanted to, or not at all. She also, as a Caucasian woman, was looking for a perfect race, an Aryan race, and that any other race was inferior. She said that colored people are like chattel, and they need to be eliminated, but we don't want the word to get out. And so as she did that, she began to build a coalition of people, and she came up with the Birth Control League that became Planned Parenthood. And Planned Parenthood began to offer free birth control and those types of things through the next several decades. And so with the offerings of this birth control, and right soon after Margaret Sanger's death, abortion became legal in America. And so that was a twofold thing. Get rid of the Negro babies, set the women free with abortion, birth control, and all of that. Unexpected outcome. Margaret Sanger probably never anticipated that in the 21st century, 60 million babies would be dead by abortion. I'd like to give the benefit of the doubt there. So whatever her pain was, and whatever her misguided dream was, abortion now has killed over 60 million babies in the 21st century. Almost a third of the babies are African American babies. You know, and with that being the case, with the African American community in the 21st century being 13% of America's population, then that has seriously reduced our community. Many times I will fly on airplanes and I'll be the only African American on the plane. When I first noticed that, in the 90s, there were fewer and fewer. And then in the 21st century, I said, where are the black people? I looked at the numbers. Too many aborted. There's a website, toomany-aborted.com, that talks about how many African Americans are dead by abortion. The number one killer of African Americans is not heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, gun violence. It's absolutely abortion. Now that's a history that many people don't know and don't believe, but it happens to be the truth.